Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. We're looking at Psalm 13 today, another Psalm of David. We know it's a Psalm of David because of the title. Now, exactly as to the birthplace of this Psalm, Spurgeon said you'd only be making a guess. But other commentators seem to think that it was written sometimes, maybe years into the struggle that David had as he was fleeing from King Saul. David had been anointed king as a young man, as a maybe teenager, there in the fields of Bethlehem as he was watching sheep by Samuel. But then after he killed Goliath and he became one of the commanders in Saul's army, Saul got jealous and began to try to kill him and put him out of the kingdom. And David had to flee for a period of at least 10 years. It was a terrible time for David, knowing that God had promised him the kingdom and anointed him, and yet it didn't seem like it was going to happen. And Saul continued to reign and rule for all these years, and David continued to flee. And so you get the background to this psalm as David first shares his feelings. And I think it's awesome as we read the Psalms that we understand it's okay to tell God what our feelings are. And we'll see that over and again in the Psalms. And then, of course, David begins to look around and see his foes, his enemies that seem to be getting by with what they're doing. And the last few verses of this Psalm, a couple verses, that David looks up and sees that God is going to take care of him. His fear turns to faith. So let's read the Psalm now that you have a little background to it. And so David, from his heart, he cries out, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and hear me, O Lord my God. Enlighten mine eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemy say, I have prevailed against him, lest those who trouble me rejoice when I am moved. But I have trusted in your mercy. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. One translation says, for the Lord has been good to me. Now, maybe you've been in that position. How long? Matter of fact, 4 times in this psalm, David asked the question, how long, O Lord? How long? How long? How long? You're dealing with a financial crisis and you just can't seem to ever catch up with your bills. You feel the pressure and you are crying out, how long, O Lord, will these pressures last in these areas of finances for me and my family? Maybe you're dealing with health issues. How long? How long? How long am I going to deal with this health issue? The pain seems to never go away and it gets worse. How long, oh Lord? And I know so many people that are in that position. And then I know so many people that maybe it's a marriage situation and there's a separation, or maybe there's already been a divorce. I'll never forget a gentleman that attended our church years ago, and every Sunday after a divorce that he probably deserved to have to go through, he had gotten his heart right with God and he wanted his family back together. And every Sunday he turned in a prayer request for his family to be restored year after year after year after year. How long? How long? How long? How long? Maybe you're asking that question. How long will the enemy say, I have prevailed, and you feel like Satan is getting the victory? But then David, his fear turns to faith, his questioning turns into confidence as he says, but I have trusted in your mercy. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I remember even Jacob, remember when Joseph had been taken from him, and now they had taken Benjamin down and came back, and they were, what do you do? And they said, and Jacob said, all these things are against me. All these things are against me. And sometimes you feel that way. Well, my friend, my God sits on his throne, and David's fear turned to faith. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. Now, David's circumstances didn't change, but David's attitude changed as he looked upward to the Lord, who still had mercy and would help him in his time of need. And God will help you today in your time of need. Well, God bless you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.